Greetings Midgardians, Viking Gamer here, and today we're gonna be covering top 5 special attacks from the recently released game Ghost of Tsushima. So I'd like to start, as usual, with a disclaimer. All of these are strictly my opinion. I am no expert at the game. I'm sure there are people who are much better at it than me, by this point. And also, just in my defense, the game has only been out for about a week at the time of me recording this video, meaning that obviously some exploring will still be done, and people are gonna find new exploits and stuff like that. So first, let's go through criteria. First one is obviously how powerful the attack is, how much damage it does, but also second, how easy it is to use it. Okay, so obviously, sometimes a different amount of costs and that kind of stuff. For instance, Ghost Stance, arguably, okay, let me pause it here before we get ahead of ourselves. Ghost Stance, for instance, it's very powerful. Obviously, you can kill 3 people of any kind straight away, but it's quite difficult to get to the Ghost Stance to be able to use it in the first place. So that's why it's going to be relatively low on the list, but more on that later. Okay. Also, I will not be covering the simple heavy attacks where you just press or hold the triangle. Okay, I don't really count them as special skills. And, well, even though they're enjoyable, I mean, personally, I found that the spear one was probably the strongest because you could use it against anyone. But as far as a visual thing goes, and for me, most enjoyable was the swordman one, where basically you can just stab them in the neck repeatedly, which is just something very beautiful about that. So anyway, let's move on to the first one. The way it's gonna do, I'm gonna show it first for those who don't remember what it is. Then I'm gonna pause it. I'm gonna talk about the criteria, and then I'm gonna show it again for you to be able to see it. Okay, so first let's the top 5. So number 5, Dance of Wrath. There you go, I'm gonna use it once, and then I'm gonna use it again. Anytime now. There you go. 1, 2, 3. So you do 3 strikes. Okay, and that's it. So, the reason why it's at number 5, because some people might dispute me on that, it is strong, but you learn it relatively late. Okay, it's a late game kind of skill. It's a late act 2 or something like that. So you can't use it throughout most of your campaign, and it comes at a large cost. Okay, it takes 3 resolve to actually be able to do it, and now sometimes it takes all 3 of them just to kill one enemy, just like you would see right now. Basically, in here, he got only third maybe of the health, and the rest he'd still be fine. Or maybe actually that's the defense or whatever. But it takes sometimes 3 strikes just to kill a stronger enemy, which is it just doesn't cut it for me to make it higher on the list. Okay, but with that said, let's just watch it again so we know what it does. Yeah, so basically now I'm going to camp. This is going to be one of my favorite things as well, but again, it doesn't really count as a special attack. Alright, just once I turn around, basically jumping off your horse and doing that massive strike. One, it looks really cool, and it does a decent amount of damage. It breaks their defense and you just kill them. But again, it's just a skill attack. It's not a special skill per se. So there you go. There we go again. A bit of a shit view, but it's there. Okay, in this case, because they were already damaged, I managed to kill 2 of them. But other than that, it wouldn't really have done. So now, number 4. The aforementioned Ghost Stance. Okay, so again, for those who don't remember what it is, let's just cut it. Let's just do it once first. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so basically, what that means is that once you reach these. Okay, let me move it back. Actually. There you go. Once you reach these points, you can get, what is it, 7? 7. Once you reach 7 points, you can go into the Ghost Stance and basically instantly kill 3 enemies, no matter what their level is, which sounds great. However, as I mentioned before, it is hard to get, because to get those points, you have to kill 7 enemies without taking any kind of damage. Okay, which is doable, which is very doable, but it's just a pain in the ass. Okay, so for that reason, it's on the number 4. And again, how it works, basically you get to kill 3 enemies because you get a ghost dance, you have a reputation by now, you're basically a living legend, they get terrified of you, and then they just stand there until you kill them. I always thought it was time limited, but it's not. It's just there until you cut your sword 3 times. You can miss, and that way only have 1 or 2 kills if you're that retarded. But it did happen to me actually, so I guess I'm one of them. So that is a problem. You can improve it by wearing a ghost armor. That brings it down to nearly 5 instead of 7. So it's slightly easier to get to the ghost dance. So I'm gonna show that right now. So I build it up. I have 3 points right now. So I build it up by a chain assassination, which will be a point of another video. But bam, I have a ghost strike, so now I just get out of the dodge to make sure I don't lose it because the spearman's already swinging. And then you turn it on, and then look at it. The 2 of these guys are the brutes, so basically they have a lot more health than the other ones that the regular Mongols have. And then this is a regular spearman, so you see, he was just waiting for me to come to him and then kill him. Okay? And I have no idea what's happening with that halberd, but whatever. So that is number 4. Okay, so let's move on to number 3, and that is a standoff. Okay, now again, it's a very powerful. You can do it through the whole campaign, which is good. But the problem with that is that you can only do it at the beginning of the battle. Once they spot you properly, you can't really do it. Okay, so in here, let's just watch it. Bam, you get to kill a couple of enemies before the fight has really begun. Now, in here, normally it's 3 with the skills that you can get. I'm going to pause it here because I'm going to talk about that. With the skills that you can get up to 3 enemies in a row. If you're wearing the Sakai clan armor, which I'm wearing right now, you're going to get that through one of the main missions. It's your family armor. You can get it up to 5 if first it's 4 and then 5 if you bring it up to the highest level. So you can kill up to 5 enemies in basically without taking any damage before the fight has even started, and build up your ghost meter. So that's amazing. However, the reason it's number 3 and not 1, as a lot of people would have expected probably, you cannot, like I said, you can't use it in the middle of a fight, and 2, it becomes increasingly harder to use throughout the campaign. At the beginning it's super easy, I never missed, but then later on, once they start feigning and that kind of stuff, it becomes a bit harder to actually do it. I found personally that it's better to let them actually hit you rather than hit too early, because if you hit too early, this will happen. Okay, bam. Basically, they do the exact same you did to them, or try to do to them, and they're gonna hit you, and you're gonna get on basically 1 health, and then you have to use 3 resolve that you just built just to heal yourself up. So the room for error is relatively high, human error should I say, and so that's why it is on number 3, include at that and well the beginning of the fight. So now I'll show you one more time just what it looks like when you don't fuck up. So in here it works out quite well. There's 5 enemies, and all 5 of them die. But like I said, all the feigning and that kind of stuff, it becomes a bit more difficult to actually get it. Towards the end of the campaign, I was struggling to get any of them. At that point, I pretty much just gave up. And there you have it. All 5 of them dead. Fight ended before it even started. There you go. And I got a trophy. Okay, so let's move on to number 2. Now, again, number 2 will be Heavenly Strike. Now, I can already hear it being like, oh, what are you talking about? Some of the previous ones are a lot stronger than Heavenly Strike. Yes. you would be correct if it was only about power, but it's not. Okay, there are a lot of other factors that play to the advantage of the Heavenly Strike. Number one, you learn it really early. Okay, it's within Act 1. Basically, the moment you can explore the open world after the first initial few initial missions, you can go and learn it. Okay, that's number one. Two, it's low cost. It only costs 1 resolve to be able to use it. It's unblockable. The enemy can do absolute fuck all to block it, so you can use it at all times. Okay, and you can use it constantly. Okay, it is really easy. Just press 2 buttons at the same time, and you can use it constantly. I'm gonna show it right here. Okay, I have, what is it, 9 resolve. Okay, I kind of missed that one for some reason, but there you go. You already have an unblockable attack that they're going at me for, and I'm just jumping from one guy to another, constantly breaking their defense and then finishing them off. Okay, guy's already terrified in the back. Bam and bam. Okay, so I used 9 resolve, but there's about 6 enemies that are gone. Alright, so for that reason, Heavenly Strike is on number 2. Now to the last one, and I might get some controversy on this one, but we'll see. Let's just show it first so you recognize what it is I'm talking about. Bam, there it was. Okay, perfect parry. The number 1 best special skill that you can get. And for several reasons. 1, it has no cost. Okay, it doesn't cost you in a resolve, it just builds more. 2, you learn it super early in the campaign. You just need to put the skills into the fighting stance or something. Not in a stance, in a fighting combat, hand combat skill tree. That's where you learn it. You can access it pretty much straight away, and you can use it throughout the whole campaign. So that is why. And also, as a bonus, people, if you perform a perfect parry, your enemies have a chance of becoming terrified. That actually amplifies if you're wearing a ghost armor, but that's beyond the point right now. So here we go. Yeah, this is something that you can use at all times, whenever you want. And here, what just happened? If you miss the click and you don't click on the right time, the worst thing that will happen, you just parry it normally, and you can still take out some of their health by a counter attack. Not the perfect one, but it's still a parry. That's the worst that will happen. That's what makes it number 1. Okay, bam. Okay, see? 2 guys already terrified, you just finished them off. Okay, now brute, so we get a little bit of a demonstration on the whole heavy attack thing. Once again, no matter what happens, you can just stand there and parry. Bam, done. Another one down, and another. It takes half their health away, and then you just finish them off if need be. And again, one more time. The 2 remaining guys are terrified. You stab them, and you move on. Okay? So, number 1, right there. That is why the perfect parry is number 1 on my list on the best special skills. Another thing, just to... Oh no, it's not there yet. Well, never mind. Okay, so I'll talk about that later. That's it. That's my top 5 list. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and I look forward to reading it. And now, yeah, basically those are my 2 cents, to my literally, because my channel isn't monetized. But let me know what you think. And what I'm gonna leave you with here is the most powerful attack of all, and that is shot right up the anus. There you go, right there. Okay, so thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time.